Hello and welcome back to the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike, and with me, as always, is Beyond the Gungraves, my co-host for Otakuology.
Jesus.
And today we are talking about the 2003 Madhouse anime Gungrave, which is an anime based on a video game.
It's an anime based on a Jen Graves.
I don't know about that. Okay.
No, but you know Jen Graves is based on this.
Yes,
So.
I know.
But the viewers don't.
Okay, you stole your second half of your name from this anime.
I didn't steal nothing.
Anyway,
I just came up with it.
Anyways, this is the one that you picked to watch. I have stuff to say about it.
Okay, I have stuff to say about it too.
But when we get into that, we can talk about my likes and dislikes about this old ancient anime, because most anime fans nowadays look at this anime and they're like, oh my god, it was made before 2010. It's so old. I gotta say, I kind of feel that way a little bit with some of the animation.
Whatever, forget you. The other funny thing is like anybody that says that and doesn't say the same thing about Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, they don't know what they're missing.
No, I gotta be honest. Honestly, it's with the eyes, like characters' eyes. The way it's drawn, like their eyes are drawn, looks like they have like a shine to them, almost like a weird glossy shine.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of throws me out a little bit when I start to look at their eyes.
Because they tried to make it more real. They're trying to suck in your soul, Mike.
But this anime, I would say its biggest claim to fame for me personally is it's the creator. It's the creator of Trigun did the character designs for this anime and video game series. That's how
you said it was. I thought you said it was Rurouni Kenshin.
No, that was Buso Renkin. Who did Rurouni Kenshin?
Okay.
I forget whoever did Trigun. I can't remember who did Trigun, but whoever wrote Trigun.
Fake fan, you're unprepared.
I'm not prepared at all. Okay, I'm not prepared. Did the character designs for this?
You think we can get T-shirts that say "fake fan" on them, like exclamation marks?
Oh, maybe with our faces on it.
Yeah, with our faces. Fake fan.
Fake fan. Fake fan.
Exactly. It'd be great.
Well, can we? Oh no, I was gonna have to make a really, really bad joke. Never mind.
Hey, buddy. Let's not bring up the pizza Oreo again, okay?
No. So you saying fake fan? Okay, yeah. So I do not support this presidential candidate whatsoever.
Okay.
The Trump guy. I don't support him whatsoever. But can we get hats that say "Make anime great again"?
We're getting dogs for that comment. We're supposed to be partial, buddy.
Oh, I don't support him, okay? I just thought it was funny.
Well,
anyways,
they do look like cowboys.
I mean, yeah, kind of a little bit, yeah. But you want to get on talking about the show? We watched the first 2 episodes of this show.
Yeah. So the first episode of this is actually kind of more of like they give you the ending or the midsection before you get to the midsection.
Yes.
Which is, fine and dandy, but I just feel like it's kind of stupid that they kind of redo it later on. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
So stick around for that. But we kind of find out a lot about kind of like getting our tootsies wet.
Getting our
About
toes wet, dipping our toes
Yeah,
into the bloody water.
about this girl named Mika who is traveling with a doctor guy, and they find out that there's basically like this corpse that's kind of in the back of this van
And he's
or
hooked
of
up
this.
to like all this stuff.
Yeah, and like one of the things is like these. It really reminds me of that little thing that what's her face and B&A was hooked up to.
Mm.
Where they were taking blood from her.
Oh yeah, I guess
It
kind of.
kind of it kind of looks like that. This one though has multiple rings of little things that have blood, and they're poking the guy to give him blood and
Yeah.
everything. Um, but we find out that he has been basically codenamed Beyond the Grave, which is
Which
kind of what the anime is based off of.
when they call him Beyond the Grave,
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous in the show. I mean, they only call him that like in this in this first episode, I believe,
yeah,
or
yeah.
at least what. So to call him Beyond the Grave is so ridiculous. Why don't they just call him Grave?
I have no idea. I have no idea because the other thing is I've played some of the video games based off
Yeah,
of for this,
yeah,
and I think they just call him Grave. So I don't know.
yeah. Which is weird.
It's
He's like, because the guy's name is Brandon Heat, and he was like a really good sweeper. Which we don't know
Yeah.
what sweepers are yet, but they worked for this organization, this
What the
mafia.
fuck? You don't know what a sweeper is?
Oh, I don't remember.
A sweeper is anybody that's like they're
It's like
not like as high as a mercenary assassin, but they're more of like a gang's like cleaner upper.
that's what I was trying to get at. Like they were kind of like they're like almost like a shot caller almost. Not like a shot caller, but like a
The guys
hitman in
that
a sense.
they clean up the mess. Yeah,
Yeah, they're the cleaners.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know. They go
yeah.
do the dirty work.
There you go. See, you said
Yeah,
cleaner. That's the same thing as a sweeper.
yeah.
It's
But
like we're watching Walking Dead, and I'm calling them brainers, and you're going, they're walkers.
they're walkers. They're the freaks, you know.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, like so he was like the sweeper for this organization called Millennium, and all we know is Millennium wants him dead. So they send out these things called Orgmen to come attack him in the van. What I like to call the party wagon is what I call it. It's the party wagon.
okay.
And we see him get up out of his chair. He gets his really ginormous, massive guns, and he starts shooting shit. Which I gotta say, even though I have issues with this episode as a whole,
Yeah.
this opening right here is really cool. Like the
Uh.
opening of the episode.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like the opening.
No, like the opening of episode 1 is
Yeah.
cool because we get to see Grave at work dismantling
So
all these orgmen.
so fun fact.
Uh-huh.
Originally, when this started out as a manga that was written in Japan, um, if you read, there's a little text, and I finally like read it because usually like it's so tiny you can't read it. Whenever the title screen comes on or whatever, it says something like it's the man that wields Cerberus something 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 in his left hand is blood and in his right hand is blood
Mhm.
and something else. So if you pause it on the title screen, you can kind of read all that. So the fun fact is this never went as far as it was actually supposed to,
Well, the thing is,
because the red
well,
gun and the white handgun that he has are the left and right head of Cerberus, and the middle head was never actually revealed for the anime.
I was going to tell you there was no actual manga for this. This was a video game first. Are you thinking of the anime? Are you thinking of the anime manga?
No, because the anime manga would have to come after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a
the writings,
there
whatever.
is nothing as for the video for a manga that I've seen.
I don't know. I heard there was one a long time
Anyways,
ago.
continue.
But yeah, so there's supposedly a character that's missing that we don't see in this anime that was written out. That's supposed to be the guy that owns the middle Cerberus head of the thing, which is supposed to be like a giant like elephant rifle.
Okay.
But
You
we
sure it's
never.
not referencing like his his coffin gun?
No, no. So
Okay.
the funny thing is in reference, and like you brought up that this is like Trigun.
Mhm.
So the two guns are almost a representative of like Vash's silver gun.
Yeah.
You know, his big monster handgun.
Yeah.
Um, the coffin looking thing is actually more like Vash's hidden machine gun in his arm.
Yeah.
So it
Or it
doesn't
could be
actually do
like
a lot
or it
to
could be like
it.
Wolfwood's cross.
Yeah, I could see it as like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, for Grave, that's kind of what it is. It's not
Yeah.
really something like it. It can shoot a missile. It can do all this other stuff, but in reality, like the handguns are way stronger than the coffin.
Yeah. They're like I would say they're kind of like desert eagles almost.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
not as like I would say they're probably more powerful than desert eagles
yeah,
in this world because
yeah, yeah,
he shoots holes through these things. These
yeah.
orgmen.
Which, and I can't remember why, but I know that we kind of went through this weird era where like they didn't really want to show blood,
Yeah.
and so that's why I think in this the Orgmen, like when they die or take damage, like you see the dents in them,
Yeah.
but then they just kind of like broken glass.
Can I just say I
Yeah,
I hope they get better designs for the orgmen because they look ridiculous and I don't like their design.
for these ones.
Yeah, because they're all white and then they have these little two like bat wings off to the side on their shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't like that design at all. It just looks weird. Like I just
Hey, buddy, don't ask me that because technically we see between these. Well, in this first episode, we see three different Orgmen, and they're all different.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I'm just saying that these basic ones, which are like just naked white guys.
yeah, these are probably more of like the feral vampires from Blade.
Yeah, like I don't like these first designs that we see. The ones in the sewer I thought were pretty cool looking.
The one-eyed ones.
Yeah, yeah. I thought those were
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Well, and later on, which I don't want to spoil too much because obviously, like I know this one since it's one of my favorite animes. Um, is while everything is under all of those creatures are under the Orgman umbrella, they're actually all different types of experiments. So
So you know
um,
what?
that's the cool spot.
So you know what? So fun
What?
fact, I've never watched this anime all the way through.
Fake fan. I need a new co-host.
So I've seen like the first couple episodes and then I jumped to like the last couple episodes. So I'm missing like 20
What?
20 episodes in the middle.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so upset with you.
Well, I first ever watched this was it was on cable. It was on like Fuse
Yeah.
TV, I think it was.
Yeah.
Is when I watched it. And like so I only caught those episodes and I own the entire series. I've just never went back and watched it until like we're recording now today.
I'm stripping you of your otaku card. Can't believe it.
So I went and I got my box set out and I pulled out the singles and I was like, oh, there's like 4 episodes of disc on this DVD.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah,
So you have 7 discs?
I think 8.
8?
I think there's 8.
Okay.
It's 26 episodes. The later discs might only have like 2 or 3 episodes on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in like this really cool box set. I'll have to post the box set. It's really cool.
I hear what you're saying. You'll have to send me the box set.
Yeah, no. No. You can go track yours down. You can go
I would. There's one that's at your house.
you can go buy your own. I don't know if the box that I have in particular, because there have been several releases of the Gungrave anime.
Yeah.
If this one ever went up in value, because I think I paid like $30 or $40 for it like 5 years ago. I don't know if people are jonesing for that Gideon release of Gungrave.
Yeah, that's what they need.
I don't know.
They need some Gungrave in their
I don't
life.
know. Anyways,
Um,
moving forward in the anime.
goodness. Well, so moving forward, like you said, at least with this episode, like we have where, and this is one of the things. Like I thought it was cool when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
but I gotta say, some of the wordplay of things or how they want to be dramatic with some things don't seem like they make a lot of sense now that I'm an
Yeah.
adult. Like after the whole fight scene, like we know, like after that, and he takes them all out. Like that was only a fraction of his power.
Mm-hmm.
Doing all that, because then the next scene we see is where he's sitting there and they're pumping all the blood into him.
Yeah, and then there's kind of Mika is kind of talking to the doctor, and she's like who is he? Like what is he? You know, this and that. You know, and the doctor's kind of like telling her like he's not human anymore. Basically,
Yeah,
he's no longer Brandon Heat. He's beyond the grave, like we said.
he's beyond the grave.
But we get this one scene, I think, right before where we see this guy driving to Millennium headquarters, which I liked. I liked how this scene was animated and shot of him like driving in like the Shelby Cobra, which I thought it was really a really cool scene. And we see them talking like the bosses or the sub bosses talking to Big Daddy, as his name is, who's the boss for Millennium.
Do they call him Big Daddy in that?
I think they call him Big Daddy.
Okay.
Whoever's the head. Well, he goes by several names. I mean, so it goes like Harry McDowell or Bloody Harry, but they call him Big Daddy. Is what they call him.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're
talking. We'll have to double check as we go. So Big Daddy is actually a character in the past that we haven't seen again. So that would have to be an allusion to that character.
I think Big Daddy is a title in this organization, like kind of like Godfather almost. You know,
maybe I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah,
so that's where I can see. That's why
I just know there's one character that, like, for sure, like when they go Big Daddy, that's who it is.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, I get where you're saying is where you're kind of confused, because we do see the younger version of Harry, where he hasn't risen to that status of Big Daddy yet.
Yeah.
And there's already somebody in that position.
But we do know, like, that's what our journey is like, now we're watching, like, the past.
Yeah, and so going into this, they start talking about like the Orgmen and stuff and how the Orgmen have died. But there was this one experiment that they had that they can't find anywhere, and they thought the experiment was destroyed or dead, which is Grave, aka Brandon Heat. From what I've gathered. And we get this interesting scene where Mika is trying to shoot a can, and we get a little bit of backstory or insight to her backstory. We find out that she was the daughter of Big Daddy and a woman, and the woman died, and she wants revenge on Big Daddy for killing her mother, and so she ran off with the doctor.
She wants revenge on Harry.
Yeah, Harry is Big Daddy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we gotta watch out because her dad is Big Daddy.
Yeah, which is Harry.
No, the old Big Daddy,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
not Harry.
I thought it was the new Big Daddy.
Harry's the new Big Daddy. Her dad is the old Big
Are
Daddy.
you sure?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that Harry, if they did it, it was a joke. But Harry is always referred to as like Harry
Okay,
or
okay.
Bloody
So
Harry or something.
that's where I got it mixed up because it says Mika, the daughter of Big Daddy by Maria. It
Yeah,
is okay. So that's where I was mistaken. Sorry, sorry. So for the old Big Daddy, not new Big
yeah,
Daddy, not Harry. Not we'll call him Harry. Okay,
yeah,
to
yeah.
distinguish it, we'll call him Harry.
Old Harry.
Old Harry, new Harry.
Yeah,
But we get more of
new
her
Harry.
backstory and stuff.
Yeah,
Just a little snippet, and I like this scene to where she is trying to shoot the gun to prove that she can actually like fire it properly and stuff.
yeah,
I like this scene. It was good. It was a nice little character moment. I feel like.
yeah. Well, and I thought it was really good where we see her doing that, and we know like she keeps missing,
Hmm.
and then we come back to her later on
Yeah,
because they kind of have where the doctor guy's talking about
yeah,
stuff from the past, which and then they kind of go back to her, and she has just gotten done, and you're like, oh, she finally finished shooting at the can, and she opens and clicks the gun open and drops all the bullets on the
yeah,
ground, and there's just tons. So you realize she's been out there for a while, probably shooting like 30 rounds, and
yeah.
still hasn't hit this can once.
And I was like, where did she get all the bullets from?
Right?
Like, where was she keeping all the bullets? I want to know. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. But
I mean, continuity, like, Graves guns don't use bullets. So.
they don't, yeah. But she ends up seeing Grave walking away. We don't know why he's walking away, but he is. And she decides to follow Grave. And what happens after that, Jen?
Well, on this part, this is the one that I was telling you that I didn't feel like held up as well as it did.
Mm-hmm.
Because the doctor's talking about it again, and he tells Mika, don't follow him.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, where is he going? And he's like, he's chasing after a thing called the past. And you're like, so when I was younger, I was like, whoa, that was such a cool line. Now I was like, that's pretty fucking cheesy.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Um, but he's going back and actually like reliving different things in his memory of where they were. He walks past an old cafe. He walks past an old building, that is there. A few other things, which this also incorporates the part where we were talking about. We saw the one-eyed Orgman come out.
Yeah, because they're stalking him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
he ends up at a graveyard, if I remember correctly.
yeah. But all the places, if you watch this, we don't really know yet. But when we have the other episode that's almost like the exact ripoff of this first one, which is later on in the series, you realize that all these different places, which we'll touch on in episode 2 as well, like the cafe he stopped in was the cafe when him and Harry were younger that they actually stayed at.
Yeah,
Because like a cafe, kind of like apartment house thingy.
which I want to. When we get to that, I want to talk about that.
so we have that, and we end up in the graveyard. We
Yeah,
get some more of I feel like almost like seeing what his superhuman powers are. I mean, we already got some. We know that the guns do things, a few other things, but we didn't really see him take a hit or whatever. You have one of my favorite parts where these one-eyed Orgmen come out and are kind of like trying to keep him from going anywhere. And you have where Mika has this really beautiful scene where she's putting rocks for her mother. She's like, I never got to bury her. I ran away and I never got to go back. So you know, kind of like her past regrets in
Yeah,
that.
because Grave goes to see the graves that he left for his friends.
Right, right.
Spoilers: his friends die.
Yeah, you don't know
Spo-
which ones though.
no, we don't know which ones, but 3 of them die.
3 of them died. So she's trying to do rocks, and of course, like we find out he's almost got superhuman strength because he goes picks up a boulder, and it's like, whoa, that's too big. We can't put that over here. For Mika, and then
Yeah.
you just see him hurl it like he's hurling it at her.
Well, he like
Uh,
hears a noise.
yeah, and he throws it past her at these one-eyed orgmen that they have.
Yeah.
Which I do agree with you. I like the design on these guys because they actually walk on their knuckles instead of on their
Yeah.
fingers.
They look more like monster-esque.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that, and then we have where like these men in black come out,
Mm-hmm.
and
They're
we
part of
know
the
that
Millennium.
we know that that's who they work for, and they just like with Uzis and Gats and things like that, they just start unloading on him, and Brandon is so, or I guess Beyond the Grave is so strong that these all just hit him and they just start falling off of his
Yeah.
jacket. So, I mean, like we know pretty well that he's got that, and then he grabs a hold of Mika and jumps. And I like how they did this effect, but I don't because it doesn't really give you a range of knowing how far he actually jumped
You think
when
he
they kind of did the little swoosh.
Hulk jumped?
I think he half Hulk jumped.
The half Hulk jumped, yeah.
Yeah, because he probably jumped, I would say, between 30 and 50 feet.
Yeah, because he was still near the bad guys, some.
Yeah, he just jumped over the tree line.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get Mika out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you see the Orgmen jump after him.
Yeah.
And then you see them like come back out, like thrown back over the treetops.
Yeah.
Back with the other guys. And you're
this one org man, or he like transforms like this giant org man guy. And they reminded me so much. I don't remember if you know of it. There's a X-Men character who's like this big, like white guy. He's like muscular, like pale white guy. His name's
Strong guy?
No. His name is Random, I believe his name is. And his mutant powers, he can turn his hands into like these big gun things, exactly like the org man in this episode.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I was like, is that Random? Like,
that's funny.
Yeah. When he shoots like white balls too, just like the org man in this episode. So I wonder if like they stole that from like the X-Men character. Is what
I don't know.
Because the X-Men character came out in like the 90s.
I don't know, because I feel like the Orgman kind of has more of like a strongman build or like a Colossus.
Well, they're like, he's a big guy too. Like Random's like a big guy. He's a lot like strong guy.
Okay.
He's just like really pale.
Really pale?
Yeah.
Like Morph?
Kind of, yeah, actually. Like Morph white almost.
Yeah.
He's not a popular X-Men character. He's like,
there's not a lot of popular X-Men characters.
He's not a popular X-Men character. He's like a D-list X-Men character.
Goodness. There are a lot of those.
But
I will agree with you on that.
But this fight wasn't my favorite at this point. It was fine to me. I thought it was cool he used his coffin gun.
Yeah.
Because isn't it like a machine gun? It turns into like a rocket launcher as well.
Yeah, it's a machine gun, rocket launcher, hammer. It does like one other thing.
Yeah.
I think the eyes on it are like little semi lasers, maybe.
Okay. But yeah,
I can't remember that because I know he uses it as a shield.
Mm-hmm.
The chain that's on it, he'll actually grab a hold of that and he'll use it like he's using it like a hammer. And so he'll kind of run up and he'll grab the chain and like sling it at people.
Yeah.
And then of course the rocket launcher and the Gatling gun on it or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is an okay episode, I feel like. We do get the stinger to where somebody finds a picture of Brandon and he shows it to Harry, and we find out that Harry actually is Big Daddy, or new Big Daddy, I guess you could say. Which
Yeah.
he's like, oh my
Before we
god,
know before we know who Harry is.
yeah. Before we know who Harry is at all,
Yeah.
which is weird. So like, that's the one thing I don't like is in this
Yeah.
first episode there are so many unanswered questions, and
Well, and
I
we also get the other picture though too,
yeah,
because
but like
we get the picture where when they pull it off the Orgman,
yeah, yeah,
and it's him like with the bullets and stuff, like kind of like, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, no, I got you, yeah, and then, yeah, we get both
Yeah.
pictures, yeah. He's like, who is like, oh, I don't know if that's Brandon, but it looks like Brandon,
Yeah.
you know,
So here's a fun tidbit for you: that picture that he crushes,
uh huh,
the guy that's sitting beside Brandon or whatever, that's the real Big Daddy.
okay, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. Because I was wondering who that was. So I thought it was going to be Harry next to him, but it's not.
No.
But yeah, this first episode, I really feel like they should have just started with episode 2, to be honest,
Yeah.
in my personal opinion, because going from episode quote 1 to episode 2 to me really breaks up the flow narratively.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem because if I remember correctly, he dies pretty quick in the anime and becomes Gungrave.
I don't know. It's kind of more 50-50
Yeah.
because there are some big events that happen while they're still human, and
I think
uh
that's the part of the anime I remember most is when they're human
yeah,
or
yeah.
when he's human.
Because then we have to fight. I think his name is the Baron. I think that's what his name is. Which you'll know that guy when we get to him. I mean, almost looks like a black Blanca because his hair's bright red, like that long.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of our turning point in this flashback area.
Yeah.
So we're going into that, but we're going to be in the flashback boat for a while. But I completely agree with you. Like, you wouldn't know that this second episode is a flashback without that first episode.
Yeah.
And but I again, like you said, I don't know if I care to get the stuff, because the other thing is like you get this whole like, what's an Orgman, what's this, who was all at the table with him,
Yeah.
and of course we kind of get up to those questions answered later on, but you have those questions now and they don't get answered until over halfway through the anime,
Yeah.
until we
Yeah.
do the jump back from
From
all these, you know
yeah, from the past.
from the past. Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, we're back here again. Okay.
Like I get what they were trying to do, but I feel like they should have started with the past stuff first.
Yeah. And then, like I told you, there's an episode in the future that will almost be like a reskin of this first episode.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest pieces of horseshit I feel like for this anime. Like, why would you basically just rehash almost the same thing and put the same episode
You
on
know
there?
what's funny?
Yeah.
So did you ever watch Wolf's Rain?
Yeah.
So in Wolf's Rain, there's a set of episodes. It's like 4 episodes, and each one is a recap episode, and they're
Yeah.
all back to back, and it's all for what you just watched at the beginning of the season of the series.
Oh,
And
goodness.
they did that because they had anthrax outbreak at the studio
Yeah.
that they were doing. So like they had to like tack on like 4 more OVA episodes, which we never got into in America until like like 10 years ago. Like you could say. So like there was
Yeah.
this weird episodes, which is weird that you say that there's this episode comes back
Yeah.
again, which I'm gonna be interested when I get to that episode exactly, because I've watched about the first 3 episodes so far of this
Yeah.
so far. But yeah, when we
You'll
get to
be
that episode,
you'll be like, I know so much.
when we get to that episode, I'm gonna be really interested to see what our thoughts are covering it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like clip episodes are annoying and stuff. I guess you could classify it as a clip episode.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't know. But yeah,
So
It's just something that the Japanese do to fill time,
what'd you think
airtime.
on this episode?
As I said on this episode, I just thought it was okay. It was okay. It was fine. It's not my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's the same thing no matter what. Like, it is, for me, I feel like it's an annoying episode because, like, this stuff with Mika and everything, but you don't get more. And of course, like, you have this whole thing, like, why are the Orgmen out? Like, I mean, I kind of feel like at the same time, though, like, we're saying that it's kind of bad, but at the
Yeah,
same time, like, it is
it's
that episode
it's
that gets
not
you interested.
it's not terrible.
Well, and it's that one that makes you ask questions.
Yeah,
And while they hold off on it, you're still like, okay, well, what's this guy? What's an Orgman? What's an Orgman? What's all this stuff? Wait, they were friends before? What's going on now?
yeah.
Like, it does provide the perfect storm for you to question.
But when we go into the next episode, which is I think Young Dogs, I believe it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
Which we
Well,
get the
so
backstory.
before we go into this is my biggest gripe because I realized it when I watched this first episode.
Uh-huh.
I hate the ending of it.
The ending, like the song.
No, so if you look at it, somebody was lazy enough; they never changed the ending into English at all
What do you
because
mean?
it tells you like Brandon Heats and it says the original voice actor and it gives you his Japanese voice actor.
Well, yeah, because if you go down below, they show it later.
Oh, I mean, I watched the whole thing and never saw them say the
Yeah,
English voice
unless they
actor.
alternate it between like anime episodes. Like, yeah, the original and the English voice actor both show up for the credits.
Oh, I
That
didn't see it in the first one.
yeah,
I skipped it in the second one.
that was a Geneon thing that they did.
Yeah.
That was like a Geneon Bandai thing. So like that's like not normal. I mean, that's a normal thing for them to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they like Sentai does that as well, to where they'll have like the Japanese credits, and then like after the Japanese credits, they'll have a short English credits as well. Like
Okay.
they'll add in their own credits, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. One thing I do have to say that the praise
Yeah.
this anime. I like the
Yeah.
music. I think the music is really good.
With the violin and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It
I
is
like the music.
it is very so you wouldn't know based off of like the Young Dogs episode, but
Yeah,
based off the first one, I would definitely say that this fits into that whole thing like with Cowboy Bebop and Trigun.
yeah.
Like it is very a sci-fi western,
But it's not a sci-fi western.
but it is a sci-fi western.
It's not.
What would you call the Orgman then?
Well, for one, it's not a sci-fi. It's more classified under crime and supernatural thriller.
That's okay.
It
They don't.
would not be
But
classified as a
I would
sci-fi western at
I
all.
would say sci-fi western because of the element of how the Orgmen and other things are all done by drugs and science
I
and things like
feel
that.
like you're stretching it to try to
I don't think so.
fit with Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star and Trigun.
Okay.
But That's just me because it's not a
So,
sci-fi space western.
are they only sci-fi space westerns because there's a spaceship in them?
Um, and it's sci-fi.
That doesn't tell me shit.
Look, this is more other than
I would
the
just say, like, you can't classify things like this
look.
as a
I will
supernatural
just say,
because
look,
look, let me tell you this. So to me, it's night and day. If it's sci-fi, you could almost go like Iron Man. It's something that's scientific, everything else, versus like supernatural would be Doctor Strange because it's got a magic element to it, and this one doesn't have a magic element.
look. I'm just gonna say, as somebody who catalogs their anime by genre, this is not in my sci-fi section. Just saying.
Seems like you need to move. Are the other ones in your sci-fi section?
What, Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah,
Yeah, because
you
it's
were
just like
gonna move them.
spaceships.
They should be under Cowboys.
With cowboys.
They should be under Cowboy. All these should be under Cowboys.
Okay, because Grave wears a cowboy hat.
Yeah, he's the most cowboy of them all.
Okay, I thought Cowboy Andy was the most cowboy of them all.
Cowboy Andy.
Yeah, he's from Cowboy Bebop.
We can't talk about motherfuckers that are only in one episode, okay?
Hey, he made an impact. Okay.
And then he ran off, and he's like, I'm no longer a cowboy. I'm a samurai."
He does do that.
Which makes me think, because I started a rewatch of Daybreak, and remember we had that guy that was in there that was the samurai?
Oh yeah.
And it made me think about how there was that change with Cowboy Bebop 2, though.
With Cowboy Andy.
Yeah, with Cowboy Andy, I was like, that guy he was a football player, and then he became a samurai. And that guy was a cowboy, and then he became a samurai.
Yeah.
So, but
talk about a show that was good and it just got canceled. Just saying.
yeah, and with big names and shit in it too. Upset.
I love that show. That show was fun.
I feel like we're gonna have to petition for season 2.
Well, it's been years, so I don't know.
It could come back.
Anyways, moving on to season 2, episode 2, which is the flashback.
Episode 2.
Season 2, episode 2. Episode 2.
So tell me your transgressions against their house.
Okay. So, for one, their house is like half of the top of it's gone.
Half of a house?
It's half of a house. The top part's gone. It got blown up or something. Where do they live? Do they live in the cafe part?
Oh, the funny thing about this is, right, some of the people actually do sleep on the roof on like blankets or things. Because I think you see that in one episode. But the back storeroom area, I think, also has beds, and then the other part is the booths that are in the cafe area.
Okay.
Like, it looks like a cafe. You have to imagine it, though. It's more of a house with a kitchen bedroom in the same room.
Okay, like an efficiency apartment.
Yeah. Because the other thing is I am pretty sure we never see a character come in to buy food.
Okay.
So, you just have headquarters, and that's what...
Because that's what honestly what I was so confused about. Is like, is it a cafe? Is it not? Is it like a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant where they work? Like, what's going on here? But it's just their house.
Yeah. It's just because of poverty or whatever. Like, I'm sure at some point there could be a back history, like a bomb went off.
Well, yeah, because one thing
the top is down, and like these guys just took it over.
Well, like one thing we didn't mention is like this city is like crime ridden. There's crime everywhere.
Yeah. It's like Gotham before Batman.
Gotham. That's a good analogy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we see a new character named Kenny who happens to be running from something. He stole something. He also held somebody up for stealing a steering wheel out of the trash, which was really
Yeah.
weird. One thing I have to say, I like that this anime depicts an African American person like an actual person, not like a caricature. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're not stereotypical like black character. He's just a normal character in the
Yeah.
world.
He's a character that was raised in the same area. Like all these guys are friends, and we're
Yeah,
all raised in the same
but
area
I
and
mean, like
everything. So they have traits.
he doesn't have like the caricature like because like the Japanese are very xenophobic and
Yeah,
like their depiction of like
you're
African
saying that it's not based off of an African American guy. That's based off of history.
yeah.
Because usually, like most black characters, look like Muhammad Ali
Or no, they have like
or
it's the weird like really big lips,
oh, okay, okay,
yeah, like the like a minstrel almost is what I think
yeah,
what they called it back in the day.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, like the very racist stereotypical depiction, like cartoon
Yeah.
depictions that they
No,
used to
I
do.
mean, no, I like it in this because everybody
Yeah,
seems like they're proper.
yeah,
It's not like nothing's blown out of proportion. Like you can tell, like everybody is what they were. Uh, and going back into one of our other animes that we like you can tell where people are. So, like in Trigun, you can tell everybody is impoverished because there's not a lot of water,
yeah,
and it's not like there's a color to it or anything else. Everybody is in that shithole.
yeah,
Same thing like in Cowboy Bebop with like Jet's character. Like he's always a cop no matter what. It doesn't
yeah,
matter who he is or anything else. Like that's his personality, and he holds to it. And that's what I like about this too is that all these guys grew up together. They all have the same
yeah.
personality, and or not the same personality, but they all have like experience
Almost, yeah, the
personalities.
same, almost like upbringing, almost.
Yeah. And like they're like a gang, so they work together and everything. Like,
Yeah.
their family.
Which do you think they have a gang name? Do you think
Yeah,
they're
it's
like
the
the?
young it's the young bloods. I,
Do
I
you
don't
think?
know.
Do you think they're like the Rowdy Rough Boys?
No, no.
So
No, I think right now they're just called like whoever. I think they just call them Harry's gang.
okay.
Because the other guy that's in this, they call him Leonin's gang or something.
Oh, Deeds Gang.
That's what it is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know where the fuck I got Leonin from.
I don't know.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like that's it. We really don't get any other names. I feel like until you get up to like Millennium.
Yeah.
Um, unless we're talking about like figureheads, like the lady that's in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, what was her name?
Lamamin.
No,
I
it
don't know.
was what was her fucking name?
I could tell you what her name was.
It was like Melida. I don't remember what her name is.
Melina.
No,
Meladina.
Meladina. Is that
I
it?
think it's something like that because it
So
looks like a regular name with a D added into it or something.
and yeah, so we meet Kenny, and Kenny got a tip from a guy named Scott.
Hey, I just got to tell you though, this name is a lot better than that BS name that I fucking hated in BNA.
Oh, Grandmama. Was
Is
that
that what
it?
it is?
Grandmama.
Grand grandma.
Grandma.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Stupid as hell.
But yeah,
Irrelevant
we meet this
character.
kid named Kenny, and Kenny is holding up a homeless guy for a steering wheel with his new gun, his new piece he's got going on.
Yeah.
And he got a hot tip, and he was running to show his gang. Brandon, he was doing a little couple pull-ups on the abandoned house that they live in. Uh,
The the uh the support beam.
the support beam for their headquarters.
Yeah.
And we see he's like, hey, Brandon, how's it going? Gotta check out what I got. I got this cool thing. And he goes in and he's like, hey, guys, check this out. And Kenny shows Harry. And then there's the other guy who's behind the counter. I don't remember what his name is, but
He's not relevant for long.
he's not really relevant. He's the guy who makes their food.
Yeah. Well, and then what happens at the end? So
yeah. But we see he comes in. He has like this really ornate jeweled necklace with like all these diamonds and jewels on it. And Harry's like, "Are you stupid?" He's like, "But I got a good tip from Scott." And he's like, "We can't like sell this. Like it's a one of a kind item. Like, what are you doing?" And Brandon tries to buy it from Kenny because he wants to give it to his girlfriend Maria. Which one thing I don't like in this anime, Brandon doesn't fucking talk.
Not yet.
Not yet. But Brandon only says two words in this like these 2 episodes.
I like to just think that they didn't have a voice actor picked out for me.
Well, the thing is, like in the first episode, he's like Maria, and then in the next episode, I'll take you home. That's all he says.
Yeah. No, he is very much the strong silent type.
And it's weird when people are talking to him and he's just like nodding or whatever to like express himself. It's just weird. Like he's like they wanted him to be like a silent protagonist, but it just doesn't fit, I feel like, in this episode. Because a lot of the other characters are doing like the heavy lifting of talking, but yet he is supposed to be the main character.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah.
But we see them talking about this thing that they stole, and
which do you think the guy that gave him this information really actually set them up with what happens later on?
Yeah, I think he sets him up. Yeah,
because I feel like he set him up and then he reset him up again.
Yeah, I feel like he was the guy that like does anything for money.
Yeah,
but Melandau. I think that's name is Melandau. Is the lady's name
Lando?
Melandau?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say Melandau.
I always said Lando because that's the guy that's in Star Wars.
I think it's Melandau.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, whatever. But they're talking, and then they're one of their gang members shows up, and he's like, "Man, Deeds and his gang are looking for the best fighters to rumble," and they go off to go try to fight this Deeds gang. And as they're doing this, we transition from that to we meet another character named Maria in this anime. And Maria is Brandon's girlfriend, who we find out that Maria has a very strict uncle who also works for Millennium.
Yeah. I don't know 100% if I would say that Maria is his girlfriend. I would say that they're sweet on each other, but I don't think that they've actually
gone out.
Yeah, it's more like I'll get you home safe and things like that.
I'll be your friend.
Yeah,
they haven't gone steady yet. I guess you could say they're still trying to work things out. I guess, which is weird because like we see them fighting, which I like the scene where they're fighting. It's a well animated scene.
Yeah,
but it's weird because we're transitioning from her point of view into their point of view of the fight, and it's very disjointed. I feel like a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do like this fight, and I thought it was really well animated. I love when Brandon headbutts a guy. It just looks
Well,
cool.
the other thing is you see when they first leave the other guy, which I can't remember his name. I don't even think his name's been brought up yet. But the one that looks like he's in the jersey and everything, the bigger white guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so when they leave and all that and everything, he goes, "I put my money on Brandon," and then we
yeah,
get into this fight, and you realize, like, basically, our little guy with the hat that got the jewelry in the first place,
yeah.
like, is trying to handle somebody. So we'll come back to that in a second. Um, Harry takes on one guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Jersey guy takes on one guy, and Brandon takes out the other six, and then comes
Yeah,
back and takes out the little guy's guy as well.
yeah, yeah. And I love this scene where they're have like the Deed, the guy who's like the other gang leader. He pulls out his gun, and I love this scene because it was funny. Or Harry's like, "Hey, come on, Kenny, pull your gun out too."
Yeah,
And he's like, "What? I don't have any bullets for my gun."
yeah, right. Well, and then we get the scene where they jump forward after kicking the guy's ass.
And you find out his gun's a fake.
His gun's a toy.
Yeah, it's a toy. Which I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell like how impoverished everything is because you
Yeah,
can't even afford shit.
yeah, yeah. No, most definitely. But I thought it was a really cool fight. I thought it was interesting how Brandon just walks up to the guy with the gun. I will use quotations with the gun, you know,
Yeah,
and he just like takes him out and like, oh, it's a fake, But we do see them later on getting money, which
yeah.
I'm guessing the one guy, Jersey guy, bet on the fight. I guess.
No, so they're getting a payout from them being collectors for that guy.
Okay, so they're like kind of like collect money, debt collectors almost.
Sort of, yeah. So to uphold like the area, they're the sweepers or the wannabe sweepers for that guy.
Okay, because it wasn't very clear what they were in
Because
this episode.
so here's the weird thing, and the funny thing is I can't relate it to really any gang. I have to relate it to the Yakuza
Yeah,
because of that. But in the Yakuza, there you have like your big person that would be
yeah,
like maybe like a lieutenant person,
hmm,
and then underneath them they have smaller little groups that are in different places.
yeah,
Now, what if Group A and Group B get into a fight?
hmm,
You know, that's kind of the whole thing for this right here is because like you have Harry's gang and you have whatever the other guy's name is.
deed.
Yeah, you have Deed's gang, and they're both technically underneath this other guy, but they fight because if Harry's gang does stuff faster than than Deed's gang, they get the payout, not the other guys. So it's
Yeah.
very cutthroat, even though they're in the same group.
See, I
They're
didn't
just
even
not
know
in
they
the
were in the
same
same.
gang.
I didn't even know they were in the same group.
Yeah, so you really don't get a full swing of that until you have that whole part where they ask the guy that's sitting there in the green and they
Hmm.
go, can you talk to Deed's gang about uh, leaving us alone?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing that really keys you off on what that is.
Okay.
And then of course, like at some point we get like this little part in there like where his brother is like this big badass and everything,
Yeah.
and of course that's where he comes back.
Which is interesting because there's a part where they're talking about this like former gang person.
Yeah,
His name was like Mad Dog, and it ends
yeah,
up being Deed's brother. I think his name's like a Lad,
yeah.
which we don't know until the third episode that that's who they were talking about.
No,
And
we know that.
No, I mean like they didn't say his name in this episode. Like they don't give him a name. They just call him like Deed's brother.
Well, we did get it, but we got it in that same spot where they told Deed to ask the guy to tell Deed to back off.
They never mentioned his brother.
Yeah, because he said, remember basically when we had the guy Mad Dog, and
Yeah.
he goes, Deeds is nothing like his brother, and he says Mad Dog.
Maybe I must have missed that.
Yeah, they said it in that part. Like
Okay.
there's little nuggets of information, and I completely understand because if I hadn't watched this a million times and enjoyed it or whatever, there would be little things like that I would miss. So I completely understand where you would miss certain things like that.
Yeah.
But just be glad you got a veteran of watching this show. So
Okay.
you're welcome.
Well, Mr. Veteran, what happens next?
Are we talking about immediately after this?
Yes.
We have where Deed's guys are standing out. It used to be a real garage, and this guy pulls up and gets out of a car, and they start harassing the guy. Which are these other two guys that are standing outside smoking and stuff are guys that we've seen that were in the fight with Brandon and
They
Harry
are
and everybody.
patched up. And they got beat up.
And then we see Dean and the other guys in there just bullshitting around, which their location kind of almost looks the same as the cafe.
It's a garage.
But it's a garage. Yeah.
It's a garage.
But on the inside, it almost looks the same, okay?
Yeah.
Like everything looks like you're in the beginning of Fallout. I mean, like there's not a lot of shit anywhere.
Yeah.
Because if it matters, it's probably getting stolen.
And
anyway.
it looks about the same in the future too.
Yeah. So they get all that stuff, and in walks this guy that says, "Hey, is this your gang? Da 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 da. You need some new guys." And you just kind of see like where the guy throws these two bodies, and it's Mad Dog, which is
Deed's brother. Lad.
And he tells him, he goes, you basically put disgrace on our family, and I've had to come back now to get it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, while everybody's out and doing stuff, which is them trying to return the necklace.
Well, Kenny gets snatched.
Yeah, because Kenny gets taken.
Kenny gets taken because Scott sets him up again.
Yeah. So they decide that they are going to take the necklace back and see if that will kind of get them in her good graces.
Which we meet Melandau, who is she a part of the mafia too? I was really confused exactly what she was.
Okay, so we're getting into this even farther. Okay, so we're gonna look at this like a tree, okay? So Deed and Harry's gangs are under the green suit guy.
Yeah.
She is almost on equal terms or a little above the green suit guy.
Okay.
She's not in that group, but she's in her own group.
Okay.
So they're kind of all bosses of something.
Okay. I got you. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I do actually really like this scene coming up where she's like, what am I supposed to do with you? You stole from me. And she's sort of pretty intimidating, like woman, I feel like. There's like all these like guys in suits with guns drawn on Kenny. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't have it anymore. And Harry, Brandon, and the other guy,
yeah,
they end up going. They leave Lawrence, the cook, at home. Unfortunately, I believe his name was like Lawrence. And they go off not for long, but they go off and they go to give the necklace back to Melandau, and they show up, and I like this scene where they show up and Harry starts like bartering with her.
Oh
for like
yeah.
giving the necklace back. He's like, here, I can give you this back. And then he offers his self up as like, hey, I can show you a good time, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, Harry's a gigolo. and,
Right.
and
It's like I want that guy's life. I want my friend's life, and
I'll
then
give you, I'll give you this dick.
you can have your way with me.
Yeah. And for a moment, she kind of like questions and she's like, I might take it, but she's like, nah, I'm good. And I love the look on Harry's face. He's like, I really thought that was gonna work.
I've been rejected.
I've been rejected. Because we find out that Harry is kind of a ladies' man.
Because we did gloss over that
Yeah.
where Maria came to check on Brandon,
Mm-hmm.
and then he walked her back home, which was
Yeah.
like no time at all. And then we got where Kenny got taken,
Yeah.
and we had where Harry met with this lady that we don't know who she is per se.
She had a name. I don't remember what her name is.
Her name
But
was Catherine, but we
was
don't
it?
know.
Yeah.
We don't know who exactly she is.
Yeah, who she is. But they go
Like
to like a fancy restaurant.
we could allude to after the fight part that it could be Dean's girlfriend or Dean's girl that he was sweet on,
Oh, interesting.
but we could allude to that, but that's not told 100%.
Okay. But
I
yeah, I mean, it's
we
a very quick scene that they're at, like out to dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So I don't think honestly that is. I don't think that was Deed's girl at all. I think that was some other lady that will come into play later on because she just seemed like she had too much money compared to what Deed had to offer.
You think Harry's looking for a sugar mama?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, that's probably one of the places where they're getting part of their money from.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they're giving part of their money to green suit or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then obviously they're kind of probably scraping the barrel in that. They're getting enough, and Harry's getting the rest.
Yeah.
So, or if we were really thinking about it too, maybe that's one of the people that they're giving protection to, and Harry was collecting for them to go give it to the guy like next
That's
time.
possible. Yeah,
So,
it's possible. But yeah, as this is all happening, as they go off to rescue Kenny, they get all beat up. They get beat up outside to not mess up her carpet or rug. And you don't want to get blood on the rug,
yeah.
which was funny. And they all get up and there's all laughing and joking around, like, "Oh man, it's been some night," you know.
And they're upset. Their pride's all hurt because they're like, man, they could have killed us instead of telling us we were shit.
Yeah, you know. But we get back to their house slash cafe slash hideout, whatever you want to call it.
Not
And
with
we,
them yet.
huh?
We have where the guy that walked in at the
Oh
other
yeah,
place
yeah.
that we know is Steve's brother walks in and goes, oh, there's only one of you here?
He's like, oh, that'll do, and he
Open
kills him.
fires. Yeah, open fires.
He kills him, and he leaves him there with all the food. The stove is still on, and I get that this was supposed to be like impactful.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It didn't feel like an impactful death.
I think it's just because it all happened in one episode.
But I mean, because like I really didn't care about the cook.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even know what he is. If you call him a
Like I
cook.
said, it all happened in one episode.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, these first two episodes were fine. I think going forward, my thought process, my view on this anime might change going forward. I don't know.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's getting like a 3 out of 5.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, there were moments that I liked and I thought were fun in this anime, but I felt like some stuff wasn't, in layman's terms, spelled out. Like, hey, what are they doing? Why are they doing this type of thing? You know?
Yeah.
That was kind of my big deal. The Brandon not talking was a big thing.
Yeah.
Like him, like because he was, it was like having a conversation with like a wall almost,
Yeah.
and like there was like a one-sided conversation. Most like like if you play like Dragon Quest or something, you have like the
Yeah.
voiceless protagonist. That's basically what it
Yeah.
felt like
Yeah.
to me
Well,
personally.
the fun thing of this is that he does end up talking more later on.
Yeah,
Um, but you find out basically one of the reasons that he doesn't is because there's not really a lot that he needs to say.
yeah.
So when he gets more, it's kind of more like more character development, I
He's
guess.
kind of like the Silent Bob of Mafia,
Yeah, that's true.
almost. But yeah,
That's true.
what do you have to say about this anime? This anime so far?
I'm gonna say a 4.8.
A 4.8. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's okay.
I mean, come on! It's like in my top 10 anime,
I
so
mean,
or
I get you.
my top 50. So
I
of
was at
course, you've never seen all of it yet. So
I was at work, and I was talking to somebody at work in
yeah,
a different department. I was like, "Hey, have you ever seen Gungrave? I'm getting ready to cover it on the podcast."
yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, I've played the games and I've watched the anime." He was like, "I give it a solid like 6 out of 10. It's very much revenge porn, the anime." So
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That's weird.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, But I mean, he gave it
So
a solid 6 out of 10.
I have played 3 of the games.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I haven't completed. The other 2 I did because it is very, and it's never changed. That's the other thing. Like the graphics have been updated, but the style of play has
Yeah,
never
yeah,
been
yeah. No, I know.
updated. Like
I've played the original PS2 game.
yeah,
I played
uh,
that.
Gun,
I didn't play Overdose.
Gungrave, Gungrave Overdose.
I didn't play on Gungrave Overdose.
Okay, that was one of the ones that I played.
That was the
And then
second
like
game.
Gungrave 5.
Well, there's Gungrave Overdose, Gungrave VR,
Okay,
and then I think Gungrave Gore is the newest one. So that's 4 games.
okay, then I've played
Yeah.
those 3.
Okay.
I haven't played the first one, but it's very like
It's
I don't
very
know how to explain it.
stylistic. They're like cell shaded games. Well, the first two
Yeah,
are. The first two are.
and things seem like they're very almost like Dynasty Warrior s to a way with
Yeah,
like, and I can't really say that it's like hack and slash.
it's more gun. It's all gun
It,
focused.
it's gun, but then at some point you get through it. It's not like you have like 50 guys you can kill. It's like
Yeah,
you run down a hallway and there may be 3, or
and
you go into a
it's very
door and
much
you
like
come back out.
a stylish game.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to do it in style, and there's like a rhythm you have to go to fighting the enemies and stuff. Like it's a simple yet strategic game almost.
yeah. And I mean, like in the other thing I compared it to is like Devil May Cry on when when you have to hit the wheels and it
Yeah,
tells you have to get up to like perfect or whatever it is. So you
yeah,
hit it and it's like as you hit it, your little meter thing starts going up. You're on D, you're on C, you're on B.
yeah,
And you're trying to do that, like that's part of the other stuff that you do in the game.
yeah. No.
So yeah.
I mean, going forward, I do still want to watch this just to see if my opinion changes going forward on this
Oh,
anime.
oh, I know your opinion will change.
We'll see. We'll see. I am a hard nut to crack sometimes when it comes to anime. Um, but yeah. Uh,
Hey,
although,
buddy. Between the two of us, if I still like this anime and
yeah, but
there's not any bad
see,
stuff,
here's the thing though.
because being a part of Otakuology has made me a really big anime snob.
Here's the thing though.
Because
I'm
because on the past three, haven't I been like, you're like, man, you've been doing really good, saying like how good it is and everything. We get to the last home stretch, and I'm just like, man, fuck this anime, da 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 da, it's worthless.
Well, see
And you're like, oh my god,
here's the thing. I feel like this anime came out at like a pivotal time in your life, probably, and it's probably one of like your core animes. You know, like
are you trying to give me a core memory thing?
kind of. It's kind of like a core memory almost.
No, fuck you, buddy.
Like this hits you at the right moment to where like you're like, oh yeah, this is my Dragon Ball, basically.
No, Dragon Ball's my Dragon Ball.
No, you know what I mean. Like you,
You're saying it's my golden fish.
everybody has like the top five, and this is in like your top five or whatever. Like of
This is like my, this is like my 10.
in like no like an influential anime is for you. Like it like influenced you, like made you want to watch anime. I feel like.
Oh, I don't know. This first episode I've always hated.
I mean, the first episode's really bad. Most people hate it too.
Yeah, I've always hated the first episode. It's
But
really
I
the
was talking
journey.
about like the anime as a whole.
It's really the journey that we take up to it and how
Yeah.
it comes in. Like the this flashback part. Like I completely love that. I'm gonna love it more, all the time compared to when we go back to the future. The Orgman part and everything, like I think that's a cool aspect, but I also think it's just
Oh,
kind of weird.
I mean, a
Kind
lot
of
of
like kind of like in Trigun where they have the giant people.
oh yeah.
Like to me, I'm like, that makes no fucking
I mean,
sense, but okay.
a lot of people really say the strongest part of Gungrave
Yeah.
is the flashback story.
Yeah. But
It's like that
to me,
mafia story.
to me, I mean, I like if you gave me a knife and said dissect this, like I could totally do that. Cuz like I like not Blood Plus. What is it? The other one, Blood Rain or whatever. With the vampire guy.
Blood Rain.
Yeah. What is it? The
Is
main
it
character.
Helsing?
No, it's like a white-haired vampire guy that's a priest, and his
Trinity
name
Blood? Is it Trinity Blood?
maybe is his name Abel Nightroad,
Oh, I don't remember.
and he has like a big sweet tooth.
I don't remember.
Like I would agree with you on that being a pivotal
It's not
anime for
Black
me.
Blood Brothers, is it?
No,
Okay. The only one I can think of is Trinity Blood.
no. The thing I love in Black Blood Brothers is where he uses his middle finger to control him and whacks his brother's face in the thing all the time. Bam, bam, bam. Hey, buddy, you should have listened to me the first time.
Oh, that show was.
No, I think it is Trinity Blood though, because it's the priest where he can change into the vampire guy. But I love him because every time in that, like the very first episode is my favorite compared to the rest of it. Like I hate the rest of the anime, but the very first episode is so pivotal that I enjoy that, especially the little part where he's like, "Yeah, can I have a cup of tea?" And can you put exactly 13 sugars in that? And everything after that just looks like fucking pudding.
Well, I just gotta say, Trinity Blood is not a good show.
Why you only watch that's why you only watch the first episode, okay?
Most people hate that show.
That's why you only watch the first episode. I'm telling you now.
Oh, I remember when that show came out. Oh, they tried to push that show so hard for advertising and stuff.
Yeah.
And it I mean, I guess it did well, but I think it did well because we had nothing else to watch.
I think it did well because it looked like, a hornier Vampire Nights.
Vampire Nights.
Right. So it didn't fit with me and you. It fit with a lot of other people.
Yeah, a lot of other people who don't have wieners.
Yeah.
But anyways, Anyways,
Yeah, it is Trinity Blood. I had to look up the cover art.
anyways, you can comment on our Spotify, and we'll get back with you. You can hit us up on our Instagram at Otakuology Podcast. Leave a comment, review on any major podcast platform. Probably Apple or Spotify is the big ones that we check normally. We just want to say thanks for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, you can message Mike and tell him to stop being a little bitch and sit back and enjoy the ride. You can message me. You can message me and be like, "Yeah, man, I'm so glad because you wouldn't be Jen Graves, Jen."
I mean, now you don't go by Jen Graves. Just saying, you go by something else.
So let me tell you this real quick. I love it on all my emails that I have to put because I put Jacob, Jen Graves, Bard's Tavern, and Tinku at the end of all my emails because I'm like, at any source you could find me under one of these names, so I might as well put them all.
Oh, jeez.
So it's always funny getting something either in the mail or if somebody sends me something because I'm like, what's it going to be addressed under? Because I've gotten a letter so far addressed under all three names here and there, or like somebody will pick out one of them, and it makes me laugh every time.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
But we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Stay safe.
See you next Tuesday. And remember, kids, I don't know where I was going with that.
Okay.